Has Wizards of the Coast just lost their golden touch? Because players are pretty upset right now and they're making sure that they let Wizards of the Coast know exactly how they feel. Maybe you were waiting for this product. Maybe you don't care at all. Maybe you're forgetting that Spiderman even exists. But we just had a secret layer drop. And Wizards of the Coast probably didn't think it was going to go this way. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks again for hanging out today for another video. So what do I mean that things aren't going well in the world of secret layers? Well, we all know that secret layers are, of course, printed ahead of time, ready to ship nowadays to make sure they can get where they need to go. And Wizards of the Coast probably thought, at the time they decided on the secret layers, the card makeups, the artwork attached to these cards, quite unique, by the way, they probably thought it was going to sell really well. They probably felt that they had a good handle on where this market was going to go. And it looks like they made a big mistake. Massive. Because this market has not only not bought a lot of these secret layers, there's still a lot available. Now, there's two sides to this. You can say they overprinted and their anticipation was completely wrong. Or they printed what they thought was going to sell and players just aren't turning out in droves. Since we don't know how many were printed ahead of time, we don't know how many sold. We're just guessing at this point, but it's still an interesting thing to see with all the secret layers we've seen in the market space in the last 12 months. We've had a lot of sellouts, and this is not one of them. So where does that leave us? Well, first let's take a look at these secret layers. Let's take a look at some of these things that went up today. Now, the pricing structure is very normal from what we're seeing. And I know a lot of people were looking forward to the Daily Bugle breaking news ones, right? We can jump over and take a look at the individual secret layers. Now, I know the land ones were selling quite well. And I'm not saying that all the cards they chose are bad. There's probably not enough good ones in there to really get players hopping. But I saw Ephemerate. There's a few good cards inside this thing. So why are we not selling? Well, let's not forget that these are all rehashed cards that already exist. And if you don't choose the right reprints, a lot of players will complain. And that's because there's probably too many reprints out there already. So to get into their wallets, you got to choose cards that are going to have value, playability, and a good artistic appeal. And that doesn't always translate well into every single secret layer. And it looks like Wizards of the Coast was overreaching on this one, and it didn't appeal to a large audience of players to make them want to buy the product, or players just own the cards and don't care. Take your pick. Lots of different arguments. You can take that vein and carry that conversation well late into the night while you're playing Commander. I can look at these cards and look at the choices they made. I don't hate all the choices. I don't like all the artwork. And for that reason, not enough of these appealed, I think, to players to make them want to buy them. We also have the chance that Wizards of the Coast overprinted, thinking that they knew what the market was going to do. And now it doesn't look good because you just see these things sitting there up on their website. Because in the past, we've had a lot of these products sell out, and that's not what's happening right now. Now, we can blame this on wallet fatigue, market saturation. You can just say, you know what, it didn't appeal to players, and this product run's not doing well. We know how the overall feel of the product is now. We've seen all the cards, and we've had different varying arguments from many different players, either stating their appeal to the product or their rejection of the product, and people in between. We also know that the key card, the Soul Stone, is the one that most players are buying and looking for right now. Regardless of what you may be hearing, these things are selling out all over the place and players are trying to corner the market on many areas. Keep that in mind. We don't know what the price of the Soul Stone is actually going to settle at. We know that the versions like the Thanos Stone and the Full Art Gem, those are super hard to come by. They're not going to be an everyday thing. We know on eBay, one of them went for $10,000 plus. We know the Thanos one is going for anywhere around, was at $2,500 Canadian, puts it around $1,800 US. There's some crazy prices going on, but nothing is settled, and this is still pre-ordering time. We don't know how the market's really going to deal with these things over the long term since they're not serialized, but they are difficult to get. But back to the secret layer conversation, when we look at these secret layers, knowing that they are readily available until they're sold out means nobody's in a rush to buy them now. Nobody cornered the market, and somebody who bought 20 or 30 just realized they didn't need to buy 20 or 30 because no one's seeking these things out. When you have scalpers jumping in and saying, hey, I'm going to buy 50, I'll hold them for 3-4 years and then flip them, those people may come out ahead in the long run if some of these cards become a big deal for players to collect later. But right now, the name of the game is it's all available. Help yourself. If you want to spend the money getting those things, it's there. And the players have said no. That's the easiest way you can say it. When you look at the conversations from people when you look at what people are talking about inside the stores, LGSs, the boards, wherever you want to get your information from, they said no. And I'm surprised by how strong of a no it is from so many different people that I know. Now, let's keep in mind, just because a lot of players said no doesn't mean that everybody did. Lots of people have bought these things. A lot of players are excited for certain secret layer cards to add to their deck building. Some are just finding the value in a few of these reprints and they didn't own the card, and they're all going to sell well, and they're probably going to sell out over time. It's the shock of not selling out right away. Now, when you look at Wizards of the Coast as a company, they should have anticipated this. They should have understood the market conditions they were in, and they should have curbed the print run of this product, or at least not put as much up on the website, understanding the loss leader that this product had to become to be successful. When they're doing artificial scarcity, when they're controlling the market, they need to understand that sometimes you got to cull your losses and cut things back drastically to say, yep, it's sold out, sorry, we don't have any. Because when you just gush it out into the market and it's just readily available, it doesn't look good from the perspective of other players who are buying these to invest and scalp. Those players get turned off, and they're a big segment of the market right now. But that does leave a nice opening for players who wanted to get these cards to not be overcharged beyond what Wizards of the Coast is setting the price at. Which means you want to spend the $40, $50, you can get these cards. And you don't have to worry about a scalper doubling the price, which is what we saw with so many products in the past. It's amazing for players to be able to get in. It may not be perfect, but this is the market we find ourselves in. And of course, when I say that Wizards of the Coast lost an opportunity here, I mean it from a company perspective, not a personal perspective. I love the fact that cards are at a reasonable price, but the other thing is, I own all the cards inside these secret layers. I actually didn't have to buy any, so unless I wanted it for the artwork, as many of you might, well, you don't really have to buy them, do you? There's nothing new there to go after. The other avenue Wizard of the Coast could have taken was built some very good specialty commander cards, maybe one in each secret layer, to really pop off and get a lot of sales going and really generate the buzz, because there'll be a card only found in the secret layer that's commander playable. There's lots of little pathways they could have taken, and this all brings us back not just to the secret layer, but the Spider-Man project as a whole was probably an unanticipated series of small events that went wrong, which have culminated in where we're at now. They probably didn't realize how big the set could have been if they had really anticipated ahead of time. Now, I don't expect these same problems with Avatar, and I don't know if they'll do secret layer Avatar stuff or not, but it looks like Spider-Man itself is going to have its people who love it, it's going to have detractors who hate it, and there's going to be people in between, as with most things that happen in life. But when we look at other upcoming sets, I know a lot of buzz right now is not even directed, and I know Avatar is going to be good, but I'm saying it's directed toward Lorwyn. I've seen more and more conversations popping up with people saying, are they going to do Secret Layer Lorwyn? Are we going to see some new cool stuff come along? That's the stuff I want to see. I can't wait until 2026. It's almost as if players just need a break. They're kind of tired of the run-up to this, and they just need to kind of reset. And I understand that entirely. Many of us feel the same way. And we know that our money is wearing thin at this time of year because there's a lot of other events that are going to take our cash away from this hobby and put it into other things. So I'm curious to know, before we end today's video, did you want this secret layers? Did any of them appeal to you? Which ones did you buy and how many did you grab into? How long was your time in the queue? Because I did not have to wait. I was in and out in a few seconds if I had chosen to buy any of these, which of course, as I admit, I didn't buy any of this particular secret layer. There are other ones that have interested me and I've had friends pick them up for me, but this one didn't have enough of a appeal to me to want to grab it. But I want to know if you guys thought this was awesome and you had to have it, and which cards were you most excited for. Thanks again for stopping by my channel today. Thanks for hanging out, leaving some comments in the comment section. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, join in the fun, join in. We have daily videos every single day. And if you enjoy this content, why not help out the content creator by just giving this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribing. It's free to do. Thanks again. Looking forward to seeing you guys each and every day. And we'll be back tomorrow with another video. Well, here we are at the end of the video. This is where you see all these cool names go by and you represent and say, thanks again. Thanks to my patrons. Thank you to my YouTube membership members. Thanks to the people who take the time to support content creation on YouTube. Whether it's me or some other content creator, it's that moment to say thank you every day, to say how special and integral you are to the channel's health and well-being. So thanks again. See you tomorrow with another video. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. The Ramble and the Jamble! You made it. You're here. It's important. Coffee's here. It's a refill though, okay? I usually have water at this time of night if you see this cup, but no, this was a coffee day. So I'll explain. What, you don't want to hear? Too bad. It's time for a Moxman story. I have about 30 people, and these people will hook into things to let me know what's going on. None of them waited in the queue. They just got to go. So maybe they overproduced. Whatever the reason is, it is not going to work out the way they think it is. When you don't have a demanded product, when you don't tighten up the run, you leave a lot of open gaps for conversation, and they left it wide open. A lot of players, are not happy. And it's not just this one thing, it's a whole bunch of small things now starting to build. And although I think the game is amazing, and I can't wait to play every single weekend, these things that irk on people, these little things, the problem is they didn't have to happen. They just did. They just grind your gears a bit, like Peter would say. Anyway, I'm going to sneeze any second now. Hold on. Feels like a live stream, right? These ramble jambles are unedited. You got to deal with the good and the bad. So when it grinds your gears like that, it gives ammunition for future products to have a view of a negative instead of a view of a positive. They had a lot of positives this year. And I think with this little bit of a negative, that can carry into other product lines. And I think they fail to recognize that the sentiment of players can change quite quickly. It can change on a dime. And there are diehard fans of any hobby. Don't get me wrong. But there's also the what do you call it? The bandwagon people. They jump on when things are good. They jump off when things are bad. Well, if you don't want bad things to happen, anticipation is key. Planning ahead. Minimizing those losses. And I don't think they did a good job doing that this time. I think they should have cut the run on Spider-Man when it came to the secret layers. Probably cut it in half. And just say, oh, we sold out. We didn't think it was going to sell that many. And left it at that. I would have pulled it down like they did with the 30th anniversary. Pull that thing off the website. Say low stock. Get rid of it. End up in some garbage dump and become some other conversation for another day. Anyway, crazy stuff, guys. Spider-Man Secret Lair did not go the way I thought it was going to go. That's for sure. Some great cards in there. Just not enough interest, right? Yeah. That's just the way it goes sometimes.